Webcasting from Southeast Kansas, I'm Jonathan Switzer, and this is the Roboblog Chronicles, episode number 14. This week's show is all about toys. Now, as a person who cares about a animated television program featuring lots of transformable robots, I would assume you are also interested in toys. If you're not, you can stop watching right now, because I'm going to be talking about toys past, present, and what I think should be done in the future. Let's hit the present first. Toynami has been marketing items in 3 price points for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Starting with these tiny little chintzy, transformable, I think they call them morphers. Super deformed robots that turn into super deformed planes. At the same point, they were also doing these horrible little block figures called I-Men, which are like Kubrick figures, like Mini-Mates. All those terrible toys that are like Lego Men without the charm of Lego Men, and also nowhere near as durable. You couldn't pay me to buy those. There was a middle price point where they do these excellent superposable figures. This is the metallic variant of the Green Alpha. They also did the Valkyries. They also did Super Valkyries to tie in with the Robotech Battlecry video game. They also promised us Cyclones to tie in with Robotech Invasion, but no, everything went wrong with Invasion, and so we didn't get any Cyclones. And those were like the $15 price point. I think the little morphers were like $8. And then we take a giant jump to the $80 price point with the Masterpiece Collection toys. And I'm not opening this up because there's no figure in here. I'm just showing you the ridiculous, overdone book packaging, which allows them to also turn around and sell for twice as much. Really, really nice bookends to go on either side of all of your Masterpiece Collection toys. Those are cool, but those aren't toys. Now, the Masterpiece Collection toys are notorious for being kind of fragile, kind of flimsy, and being a little too elaborate in the transformation department in the case of the Alpha. Actually, I don't think it's notorious for that, but I tried re-transforming my Alpha into fiber mode a while back, and I couldn't get all the parts to align right, and it was a real irritating mess. The real trouble is that a lot of the extending parts don't want to retract, and, you know, yeah, so that's what Toynami's been selling us lately. That's what Toynami's been selling to us for the past, you know, let's just say for this decade. Of this decade. And they continue to sell these things. At least they continue to sell the high-end items. The low-end items, interestingly enough, have gone by the wayside. They still have a couple of I-Men in the works, but those are supposed to be bonus goodies that come with the special edition of the Shadow Chronicles movie. Now, let us go back to the 1980s. Let us go back to... Wajah! Look at me. I am a Robotech that does not transform into anything! This is the Playmates release from 1995 of the Matchbox Robotech Fighter. You can tell it's the Playmates release because it looks kind of grungy, and did not come with stickers for the fast packs. Also has orange missiles. Playmates tried to tell us that putting the fast packs, which I think they called Sonic Tech Jet Pods, was a transformation, which is total BS. You'll also notice no skulls on the fin flap, no skull fin flash on the wings. Now, oh yes. Now, you probably can't see it. Right in there, there's actually a joint where if you could break the arm segment in half, it could swing out, of course. It would be blocked by these legs, which have been molded in such a way that they can't swing down. They're also screwed in on the top. Now, originally, this was supposed to transform into Guardian mode, much in the same way that the hover tank transforms from Battloid Gladiator. But for some ridiculous reason, that functionality was taken off of the actual toy. Now, I will say that the core idea of the Matchbox line, which is basically G.I. Joe with robots. This is poor Roy Fokker. It looks like his head's been squished. I kind of like the figure, but I realize it's not any good. The core idea of G.I. Joe with robots was not bad. It was all the execution that was terrible and bungled and awful. Now, this is the Gakuen Scott Bernard figure that came with the Gakuen Cyclone, the large Gakuen Cyclone, the one that's, you know, actually good. Not like those little G.I. Joe sized Cyclones, which are terrible toys and they're prone to breakage. This is a nice, posable action figure. This, you know, flip up visor and, you know. Yeah, I Sharpied in some eyes. I got tired of his pupilless gaze. Now, one day, I took this, and this is all I have. I don't have the Cyclone that comes with it. I got this off of eBay and a lot of other Robotech items. One day, I stood this next to this. This is Destro from the G.I. Joe Sigma 6 toy line. And realized, oh my goodness, these are almost in the same scale. And then I got to thinking, what was the one vehicle that they did in the Sigma 6 toy line? The one vehicle they did in the Sigma 6 toy line was a motorcycle. Not only a motorcycle, but a motorcycle that transformed into a hovercraft. Right now, the current G.I. Joe toy line in that scale has a bat, you know, a battle android trooper that transforms from a robot into a motorcycle. Oh. Remember, the Shadow Chronicles is utterly bereft of new, compelling mecha. It's a shame, it's sad, it is the state of affairs we are in right now. So I was thinking, all we've got is characters. Why don't they do Robotech figures, Robotech character figures? This is Snake Eyes from the same toy line. Robotech character figures and a series of Cyclones that pop onto them in the 9-inch Sigma 6 style scale with all that nice pretty articulation. You know, swappable heads, pop the head off, put, you know, the Cyclone armored head on. After all, the only person who can get away with having a helmet that comes off like that is Scott Bernard because his hair's all slicked back, but even in the Shadow Chronicles it's not. Do about 4 or 5 figures. I would request Scott Bernard, Maya Sterling, Marcus Rush, and maybe Alex Romero if you don't want to make a big and burly figure for Vince Grant. And then you make 2 or 3 Cyclones to go with them. The G.I. Joe Sigma 6 figures are about $10 to $15 a piece. I think they were doing the cycles at about 15 as well, but you know, with the added complexity, that would probably run about 20, 25. I think that'd be cool. I think that is basically the Robotech toy line that we should have right now. That would be, to me, the ideal. So, let me know what you think about that on the comments thread. And on that note, this is Captain JLS, signing off.